I'm gonna take you back to 1993. Okay, that's when we met. I first saw Biggie at this club. I think the name of the club was The Building, if I'm correct. Somebody watching this could verify that. I went to the building with some people, just hanging out, another regular party night. And Biggie was performing. He had a single out back then, Party in Bush. And, that record started getting some play on the radio. And at the building that night, a couple groups performed. I can't remember exactly what groups performed. It might have been, I can't remember the other groups. I just remember Biggie's performance. Standing there watching this guy perform, do his record, and I mean he killed it. He killed it, especially the part where it breaks down and the fight broke out part of the song. He killed it. Anyway, a couple days later, I'm hanging out with a good friend of mine, DJ Enuff, and he's been on the radio for a while. He got a radio gig with Hot 97. I believe he was on Hot 97 at this time, and just at his apartment chilling. And I brought my K2000 over his apartment because he was like, man, Fresh, I want to start making beats. I'm gonna learn how to produce. I want to start making beats. So I brought some of my equipment over. I know I brought my K2000 because that was my main piece of gear. I'm not sure if I brought other equipment like my JV 1080 and keyboard and all that stuff, but I brought my equipment over there and we was talking about production. I was just telling them, about these new songs I was producing and these tracks, and then I was playing 3 new songs that I did. And I think the songs were on my label that I put out at that time, Street Level Records, and it was The Sounds. It was Bring the Funk Through, and one more, Planet Brooklyn. Right. So I was playing those songs for him, and we was just vibing. But he said, I gotta go pick up Biggie. I spoke to him, and we're gonna get together. He was like, Fresh, you want to ride with me to go pick him up? And I was like, cool, let's go. So we got in Enuff's car and we drive down towards Myrtle Avenue, downtown Brooklyn, right past Atlantic Avenue, down towards Myrtle Avenue, somewhere around Gates, something like that. I don't know if he called him on a cell phone or he texted him. We have pages at that time. I can't even remember exactly. 1993. Anyway, Biggie was around the corner, so he was like, come get me. I'm around the corner. Enuff gets in the car, lets me know he's around the corner. So we stop. Boom, he jumps in the car, right, and he's like, "What's up?" And he's wearing like a buttoned up shirt. It might have been like a flannel shirt, some jeans, whatever. And he gets in the car, and this dude is like crazy cool. Like the minute he got in the car, it was like I'm talking to a friend that I grew up with. So he was like, "What's up, Enuff?" So Enuff was like, "Yo, Biggie, this is Fresh. Fresh, this is Biggie." The first thing Biggie does is, "Yo, Fresh, what's up? Pleasure to meet you." He's like, "Man, that joint now, he was like me and my man Siege. I mean, we was just playing that song." And then he starts rapping the lyrics to that record, to my record. He's going through like the whole verse, top to bottom. And I'm like, wow, like that's cool. This dude is cool. Like he knows his music, he knows his lyrics. I didn't know, if he knew about me or whatever. I knew that I saw him perform the other night. He was dope. And he gets in the car and he's like the coolest dude on the planet. And just real. So we're driving back to Enuff's apartment, and we get to Enuff's apartment, and he's just chilling. So he lights up, and he's like, "Man, I gotta play these songs for you." So he's going through the songs on his first album. So those in the CD or cassette. I can't remember exactly if it was a CD or cassette. We're talking 1993. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm accurate, and whatever I don't know, I'm letting y'all know. So those in the CD or cassette, and he's like, yo, you gotta listen to this joint I did with Method Man. And he plays the song, and like every song he's playing, it's hot, and he's listening, he's smoking, and he's like, yo, Fresh, you want some weed? And I'm like, nah, I'm good, And he's like, yo, check out this other joint. So Enuff plays it, and we're just chilling, and he's going through all these songs, and man, they're hot, And he was just explaining, he was like, man, he's like, my album's done, but Puffy's waiting to release Heavy D stuff. Heavy D stuff has priority, And if anybody remembers back then at that time, I don't know if Puffy was just starting Bad Boy or if he was still at Uptown. He might have still been at Uptown, but Heavy D was priority back then, right? So Biggie was just telling me, man, I'm waiting for Heavy D to drop, then I'm going to drop. I can't wait. So I was like, yeah, I've been working on some stuff too. So I played a couple of the joints that I played for Enuff earlier, and he was like, man, that's hot. He was, he was like, woo. He was like, oh, his whole thing was when he got in the car, he was like, Fresh. He's like, I'm not getting on tape with you. That's what he was saying all the way on the ride to Enuff's house. He was like, I already know about you. He was like, you ain't catching me out there. I'm not getting on tape with you. And I was just, I'm just like, all right, that's cool. I'm laughing, we just whatever. He's like, you ain't catching me out there. I'm not getting on tape with you. So going back to Enuff's house, I'm playing some joints. He's like, oh man, that's crazy. That's hot. This and that. He played his joints. I just thought all his stuff was just great. It was dope. So I was like, yo, I'm working on some tracks. So I had my K2000 hooked up from before me and Enuff left. So I hit play on a K2000, and is this joint, Break It Down, right? It had the sample from Ski saying Break It Down from the song we did a few months earlier, Many Styles, with me, Original Flavor, and Jay-Z. So I start playing this beat, and Biggie's like, and I'm like, yeah, it's this joint I'm working on. And so Enuff had the mic hooked up right there. I grabbed the mic. Enuff hits record, right? So he hits record and he starts the track over. And I just start flowing. So right there, even though Biggie kept saying, yo, I'm not getting on tape with you. You ain't catching me out there. That was it. Enuff hit record and hit play on the track. That was it. I started rhyming. Biggie had no choice. He had to rhyme. So if you listen closely, I did my verse. I always do a medium level verse that gets other people to do a verse, and then I go in. But if you listen to that freestyle with me and Biggie, he finished it. I do my verse. He does his verse, and he basically was like trying to end it. Like, okay, we good. I did a verse. You did a verse. We good. Now, mind you, I'm not thinking battle. Okay, this dude is mad cool. So I'm not thinking battle. I'm not by any means saying I caught Biggie out there or anything like that. I'm just describing what happened. So when I got the mic back from him after he said his one verse, I kept it going. You hear me say, da 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 da. I'm gonna keep this going. Then I went in with like some styles. Like that was my thing back then. Like I'm going to do things with the syllables and sentences that no one on this planet can do. So that was basically my thinking back then. That was my thinking when I did Many Styles. I didn't care that, Ski said Busta was going to be there and Jay-Z was going to be there. That didn't matter to me because the whole thing was not against other artists for me. It was what can we do with the verses and syllables? So it was no disrespect to artists. It was what could I do with verses and syllables? And at that time, I felt like there was nothing I couldn't do. So I went and I started that next verse. And then when Biggie had to go the second time, you hear him ask Enuff, can I get some drops too? Like hook me up, because Enuff was dropping it out when I was delivering punchlines. So you hear Biggie say, can I get some drops too? And then he did his second verse and you hear his voice kind of go up. I think that the mic was feeding back a bit because he got a lot louder. Trying to make sure he delivered, delivered his verse effectively. So we did that. We wrapped it up, and it was great. So after we finished that, he was like, "Yo, Fresh, we gotta get this on my album. We gotta get this on my album. I'm gonna ask Puffy," and he was like, "Yo, just call me, man, call me." So we traded numbers, and I was like, "I'll call you." I was like, "When are you gonna talk to him?" He was like, "Yo, I'm gonna talk to him tonight. We gotta get this on my album." So I was like, "Cool." So I'm thinking, all right, cool. I just did the Many Styles joint with Original Flavor and Jay-Z. I'm about to be on Biggie's first album. Like, this is great. So I remember asking him, I was like, when I call you, like if your mom answered the phone, like should I ask for Biggie or should I ask for Christopher? Like, what's the deal? He was like, whatever, she knows. And I was like, all right, cool. So I'll call you tomorrow. So called him. Mom's picked up the phone. I was like, hi. I was like, can I speak to Biggie? And she was like, yes, who's calling, right? And she had like, I don't know if she's from Trinidad or Jamaica or whatever, but, sound just like my mom. That's how like all of our moms were. Like West Indian, you call, moms might pick up. We either in the basement or in the room working on stuff. And this wasn't uncommon, by the way. So this is not an attempt to make fun of Biggie, being at his mom's or his mom being at his place. There's a lot of artists in New York at that time who had records out, big records out on the radio, who still lived at home with their mom. For example, like I Got It Made was a big record. But when that record first dropped, I don't think Special Ed just upped and bought some mansion or some big house and moved out. Everybody was driving whatever car they were driving and just trying to work it out, just trying to make music. So just put that out there. So anyway, I call him the next day. I asked for Biggie. His mom says, hold on. She said, Christopher. Calls him. He gets on the phone. I'm like, yo, what did Puff say? And he was like, man, he said, we got enough joints. The album's good. We're full. We got enough joints. He was like, yo, I'm going to try to get it on the next one, or I'm going to try to get it on a B-side of one of the singles. And I was like, cool. After that, I never really called him that much because I've never been the type of dude to like just browbeat somebody. Like, yo, I want to hang out with you guys. Blah, blah. I was never that type of dude, so I didn't call him that much. People could argue, yo, you should have. You should have got down with Junior Mafia or whatever. No, that was Biggie's thing. Another thing that I forgot to say, when Biggie got in the car, he was telling us about these crew of young dudes who would like do anything for him. He was like, they're young and they down for whatever. And he was talking about Little C's and Junior Mafia. And he kept stressing, they mad young, but they down for whatever. Like, I got this crew, yo, they just down for whatever. So those are some things that stick out in my head when I think about Biggie, Notorious B.I.G. And when he was murdered, it was just so sad to me because all that beef that came up with Tupac and all these pictures I would see, with the hat and the suit and the cane, that wasn't the dude I met. The dude I met was like somebody like you go to the store with, you buy now and laters with, and you like, yo, do we have enough to get Swedish fishes? Like, that was the dude, neighborhood dude. I didn't see this guy selling drugs. I didn't see him, king of New York. He was mad gifted with the lyrics. He was a fun dude. He knew his hip hop, and he was very friendly and very, just really proud of the music he was making. So that's all I got. That's my time and experience with the Notorious B.I.G. I miss him. Great dude, and there'll be more videos coming.